KMC here. Welcome back. I hope you're going to enjoy my chat today with my good friend Michael Shaw. He is the founding member and artistic director of one of the best theater groups here in Palm Springs, and that's Dezart Performs. So sit back, relax, and listen in on our conversation. It's going to be great to catch up with Michael. I haven't talked to him in person in such a long time, so this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's bring Michael in. All right, there he is, Michael Shaw. How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, you know how it goes these days. Here, I want to raise a little glass to you. And
Thank you.
okay. Oh, you've got vodka, you said, I think. So.
Oh, that's right. It's 9 o'clock at night.
Somewhere it's okay to do that.
Ignore the sunshine coming in through my window.
Yeah, mine too. But so honey, look at your hair.
Oh my God.
I
know.
hate you.
It's so long. It's so long. I mean, this is short compared to what it was before. Like, so I went without any haircut until they opened the salons for like a minute. And I got my hair cut really quickly during that moment because literally I think they shut down 2 days later again.
Right after that, yeah.
So my hair was actually like down to here and I was pulling it back. I was having a blast with it. I mean, it was big and it was just like moppy and.
Shut up. That's all I got. So.
That's cute.
Honey, I do it every week, just keep it all trim.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love your curls. I love it.
And my hair is very curly when it grows out like this. And so I started wearing, because I've got hats or whatever, and mousse, I mean, I can't put anything in my hair because it's just as stupid. So I just put on hats and, so I started collecting bandanas, and I was trying to decide like what hat to wear today or what bandana to wear. And so I've been collecting these bandanas. And there's this wonderful woman at the farmer's market, because I've been going to the farmer's market every week. And there's this woman, Leslie, and she sells all organic cotton things, hand towels and little bags for like vegetables and things like that, all fabric. And she has this entire collection of like dinner napkins, bandanas, handkerchiefs, and I've been collecting them and supporting her. And so I've got this wonderful bandana I was going to wear. It's green and it's really cool. I may put it on. I may like take a break and put it on.
We could do costume changes if you want.
I am a theatrical person.
Yeah, you know how it is. We'll put it on pause, but I'll still be able to watch the changing that's going on just to make sure it's aesthetically correct.
Yeah, exactly. The entire disrobing and
You're a nut. You are a nut bag, and it is so good to see you. Don't you miss just seeing people?
I miss touching people. It's really weird. I mean, even when we try to get together with friends, like Deborah came over the other day because she had to pick up something, and we're all masked up, and she's masked up, and she's standing at the gate of the front yard, and I'm like,
exactly, yeah.
You're like, and it's hard. It's really, really hard.
We haven't gone out too much. I mean, not even a handful of times during all of this. And we went out Saturday to the farmer's market, as a matter of fact.
Did you?
Mark had never been to the farmer's market. I had. But I hadn't been to one during this time where they're over at the pavilion.
Right. All the circles. Yeah.
So we were there, and there's all your friends, and everyone's like doing the elbow thing. And I'm just like, I just want a hug. But it's very strange. It's so unlike me, and I know it's unlike you too. We're all huggers. You know how we.
I know. So, we do what we do, but it's nice to get out. My routine has totally changed because our show, we closed Sweat, and literally we were a week into rehearsals for the next show, and then everything shut down. And that was we were very, very lucky because so many other theaters had to close down the middle of production or, 2 days before opening. It's just horrible. So everything comes to a screeching halt and we can't go anywhere and we're adapting or whatever. So what we've been doing, Clark and I, just to fill, Clark, my husband, as you know.
Yes. And now everyone knows too. Clark is his husband.
So we started walking. because the gym's closed down. Because, we would go to the gym every day and do our thing, whatever. So now we had no gyms. So it was really, what's been really wonderful actually through all of this is we started walking in the afternoon. And this was back in March and April. So it was really, the weather was gorgeous. And then it started getting warm. So we thought, let's do it in the morning. Let's do it, let's have a quick breakfast and we'll go for a little walk at 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it started getting like 90 or 95 or 100 at like 8. So now we literally get up at 5 o'clock, which is an ungodly hour, but we do. We're out the door by 5:30. I down coffee, I have a little piece of toast, and we walk. And we do 5 blocks, 5 rounds, the 5 laps around the park. And just I've met so many fabulous people. We've met all of these neighbors that we didn't. So because we're either all at the gym and we're now walking around the park or doing rubber bands on the trees and so now we're cooking. So like Sheila she made fried okra with some shrimp thing the other day for everybody. And there's like a group of like 10 of us now. And we don't all walk together, but we see each other as we pass each other. We're like, hi, good morning. And so it's me and Clark and usually this friend Michael, the 3 of us walk. And then there's Sheila and Brian and Jackie and they all walk. And so we started this like a little food group. And apparently it's like Sheila and I are the only ones cooking. Everybody else is eating, but that's fabulous because I love to cook and she loves to cook. So today tomorrow I have to bring something and I'm trying to figure out what to bring. And so they won't see this until before tomorrow.
No.
I found this fabulous recipe because the first time around I made hush puppies because she was making some fried catfish. So with the catfish, I thought, oh my God, hush puppies. I love hush puppies. So I made hush puppies and I deep fried hush puppies.
For 100, I saw the pictures. I was like,
oh my God, it was so much fun. I didn't have, I eat fried food. I'm from the South and I love okra and I love all that stuff that, whatever, corn and meal. And so, but I never cooked. I never deep fried in my house. So I'm like, what do I do? So I have a huge pot. It's a big cast iron pot. And I went out and bought a gallon of, vegetable oil because I only have olive oil at home and I got vegetable oil and I have to get a strainer. So I go to Williams Sonoma and I get a strainer and then I have to get a thermometer because you have to maintain the level of 3. I'm like, I spent like $60 just to friggin' make like puppies. So now I'm frying everything. I'm frying cornflakes in the morning. So,
well, cooking is the thing that people are doing now during this. I mean, I'm the cook in the house. My husband, Mark, does not cook. He reheats like the best of them, and he will eat leftovers morning, noon, and night. I'm not a leftovers guy, so I know.
Well, what's funny because our grocery bill, as I'm sure yours is, just
it's all I'm spending money on though. It's all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because we're not going out to dinner, and I realize our dining bill, our entertainment bill has just dropped on our grocery bill. But I'm also enjoying the whole discovery of what I'm exploring things at the farmer's market. I'm really getting into the cooking. I mean, I've always cooked, but now I'm actually looking at different recipes and I'm enjoying the process and I look forward to like 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I'm prepping everything, whatever. 6 o'clock rolls around. Clark's like popping a bottle of wine and we have a glass of wine and I'm frying up hush puppies or whatever. So today in the kitchen right now, as soon as you and I finish, I'm going in the kitchen and I'm making, so for 10 people, I want to make at least 2 each, if not 3 each. I'm going to probably do at least 24, if not 36 dark chocolate and coffee cupcakes with bacon. I'll save you one. I'll actually bring one over for you. Honey, I seriously. Have you ever had anything chocolate with bacon in it? Oh,
chocolate covered bacon. I had.
Oh my God, it's fabulous.
It's incredible. You would never think that, but that does pair well. It does.
Well, Clark was like, well, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "No, you don't know."
Make sure you take pictures too, because I follow everybody who's got food posted. I like it. And you just did something the other day too. Were you doing like shepherd's pie or something that looks?
Oh, shepherd's pie.
It's
I was
delicious.
watching the news. I was watching the news. I got angry at something on the news. Who doesn't? And I'm like, that's it. I'm making comfort food. So I shut the TV off and I walked to the kitchen and I had my, so I made some fabulous shepherd's pie, which I had never made. I've eaten it a million times. My mother used to make it all the time. So I made shepherd's pie. And then 2 nights ago, this is very funny. This is like a cooking show. So 2 nights ago, let's talk about theater. No, let's talk about food. So 2 nights ago, I had gone, I'd had something, I'd had somebody had made some, what did they make? Some is an Israeli dish.
Okay.
And they'd given me some of it. And I tried it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So I was trying to remember the name of this dish because I wanted to make it for myself. And I'm searching online, and I can't find it. But what I did find was a dish that had, because I started putting in like spices. And so I found this dish called keema matar, which is beef and pea in curry. And so that's what I made 2 nights ago. And it's like turmeric and curry and cumin seeds roasted and da 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 da. And it was so good. And Clark's like, you can never go back to work.
Well, you know what? Don't you start thinking like the stuff you are doing? You're like, can I actually do this the rest of my life? Because I'm loving it.
Exactly.
I mean, if this was my life, I'd be okay with this. But
so we go out to dinner. That's the thing I miss is just going to the bar.
Yeah, I'm not ready to do that. Even where places are, I'm still just not ready to do that.
Yeah, I went to lunch one time 2 weeks ago on the patio over at Trio. Ordering a lot of food from the local restaurants to support, and
Same here.
They're doing great. I mean, I love that they're able to do that. But yeah, so masking up and doing all that kind of stuff and whatever. But I also one of the challenges has been, especially at the beginning, I think probably one, because I think we were all feeling this level of, there's the sadness and the frustration and the anger and the people losing jobs and all of these things happening. And all of a sudden when things are pulled out from under you and you're left kind of like floating, it was hard to focus.
Oh yeah.
I found it was it was frustrating because I'm like, and then you just don't know what to do.
Yeah, it became such a paralyzing thing because then you didn't even know how you would recuperate from that because the next day something else was happening. And and as you know, I mean, things just started to fall off, in the world itself, and then unemployment came, and then everybody, no toilet paper and hand wipes. It just all of a sudden became like an apocalypse, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it was frightening, and it is frightening. But we're all living the new norm now, which is it's crazy. But I really, obviously we're hoping that this vaccine comes sometime soon to help us all get back to where we were. But I will say it's been a life learning experience to go back and just do things just not in the crazy lifestyle that we're used to,
Well, yeah. I mean, life just slowed down so dramatically. And I mean, when you look forward to your trip to the grocery store,
that's all I have. It's all I have.
It was interesting because I missed seeing the people who make our lives easier. I missed going to the bank. I missed going to the post office. Even though these are essential businesses, you couldn't go in as you normally go in.
Exactly.
I love my post person, Ellen. Every time I see her, we're like, oh my God, honey. We're just like, or the guys at the clerks at the grocery store. The bank, which we belong to Pacific Premier, I experienced a very strange thing. I went in and I'd gone in and they were letting people in one at a time. This was many, many weeks ago. But they were letting people in one at a time at the bank. So there was a line, there were circles on the sidewalk outside. And so someone would let one person out and then they'd let you in. And you realize you walked in, and the first time I did this was, 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. And I walked in and I'm looking around, and what few employees were there, they were all masked up. I go to the teller, and I know the teller, Letty. She's a dear, dear friend, and I've known her for years. And I walked up, and there's like these circles on the floor. It says, please stand here. So I'm 5-6 feet away from the counter, and I have to step forward and reach and give her my deposit or whatever it is I'm doing. And she's got a plexiglass thing in front of her, and she's got a mask, and we kind of talk, and we're like, how you doing? And I'm like, fine. I said, how are you hanging out? And she's like, fine. And I said, how's your family? Because I know her kids. And it was very strange. We had this interaction. She did my deposit. She gave me the slip back, and she said, honey, take care of yourself. And I said, you too. I miss you. And she goes, I miss you too. And I say, tell the girls, all the other tellers, because nobody was there. Yeah. I said, tell everybody hi. Please give them my love and my best. And Keith, I walked out. I went through the door, and I started to my car, and I started bawling. I absolutely, it was the first time that I think I realized how incredibly, how I had just kind of pushed, we just kind of like, we didn't know how to deal with it. We didn't know, we thought we felt sad, or we think we're feeling depressed, or I'm lacking focus, but I'm trying to kind of make every day is like, okay, now I can go to the grocery, just trying to make sense of it all. But then the sadness hit, and I just bawled because I realized I missed her. It was really, really,
it changes life. And like you said, the emotions that come at different times,
yeah.
Just something as simple as that can really bring it to you. And that's, and seriously, can you imagine some of the writings that are going to come out, some of these plays that?
Oh my God. Oh my God. We're going to have some of the most incredible theater in the next 5 years.
I mean, it's like going to be pandemic theater, but I mean, it's, that's how it was with AIDS, everything was, very much of the time. And this will be a time that people will be, I believe, will be writing about. So, that's, so speaking of plays, I wanted to ask you, so I saw your last show, and my show was going to open up on that stage 1 week from that night I was there.
Fabulous set, by the way.
Oh.
I saw your set. Oh my God. I was like,
well, I hope other people get to see it someday, but that's fine.
Great set.
But so it, like you said, it happened so fast. I saw your show on that Friday. I knew I was going to open the next week. And then I know we stopped everything on Thursday of that week. And then it just stopped. So it was paralyzing. But luckily, you guys got that show in.
Mm-hmm.
But that was still part of your season. That wasn't the closer, was it?
No, we had started rehearsals for the next show that following week. And then we closed, everything closed down a week and a half into our rehearsals.
So for anyone who's watching who doesn't know what theater I'm talking about, I did tell you early at the beginning, this is Dezart Performs, and Michael is the artistic director there and a founder. I think you started this, back in 2008?
12 years ago.
I have my notes. Yeah. Oh yes, it's 2008.
Yeah, I was just graduating from high school.
Oh yeah. Of course. Hey, bless you for doing it. And seriously, without a doubt, one of the finest theater companies we have out here. And you guys are always doing these thought-provoking and not your typical, I always say, arsenic and old lace. You're not going to see that over at Dezart.
No.
But it's great. And, I always say, hey, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's starting to be. I mean, your houses are full. People are loving what you're doing. And so I really give you big credit, because I don't know that I would have had that much faith in being that different.
Oh my God. I got to tell you that I have learned obviously we've all grown with our audiences, and our audiences have grown. Our audience, I mean, in terms of what they demand of us, because I don't think the expectation was there. You don't know what you don't know what you miss until you have it. And because our audiences come from all over the country and Canada, and so a lot of our winter snowbirds, they're from larger markets. They're from Seattle. They're from Minneapolis. They're from Toronto. They're from larger markets where they are theater goers in their hometowns. And so the Dezart didn't always provide things like, Sweat or Hand to God, or, it just, those weren't here. And once the community discovered that there's a theater company doing stuff like Church and State, a comedy about gun control, gun violence, I mean, they're like, oh my God, this is the place, this is where we can go see the stuff that we love back home. And that's what's happened. And then the community, locals, started to embrace our theater. If I announced that I was doing Arsenic and Old Lace, I'd be run out of town.
I get you.
Which is fun, which is exciting, because that means people don't expect anything less from us.
Yeah.
And that's fabulous.
That's kind of like, again, it's what I enjoyed when I first got here. I'm like, oh my God, we wouldn't have any of this kind of stuff back where I came from. It really just wasn't. And you would want to, and we were part of a theater company for 30 years, Mark and I. And you always knew you had to throw one Arsenic and Old Lace in if you were going to go and do something a little more edgy. Or if we were trying to do musical theater, you knew you could do one or two good plays or a children's show to get the cash so you could mount the big production. And you guys don't do musicals at all. Your group. Are you going to? Oh my God.
I know. I swore. It's funny. People were like, you can build audience if you do a musical. I'm like, I have, and it's not that I don't like musicals. I've performed in 30 of them. I've seen everything that Broadway has to offer and off Broadway. And I'm a subscriber at the Center Theater Group and at Pantages. I mean, I go to a lot of stuff, and I love musicals. I mean, I'm right before I met with you today. I'm in the bathroom, like, combing my hair or whatever, listening and screaming at the top of my lungs to Dear Evan Hansen. So I love musicals. I have no desire to produce them. And that's just because maybe I just don't know, I know how hard they can be and how difficult and challenging.
It's different.
But there are theaters here that do a great job with musicals. Now, I won't be producing Cinderella. I won't be producing Oklahoma, but I have found twice. This is the second show that I found that is unique and small enough and great storytelling that I want to bring to our stage. And because of the times and because we have to change the way we do things, I have selected a play. I'm waiting for final rights, so I can't announce it, but it is a rock musical. And it's a 2-person rock musical. And it's a delightful, heartwarming story that I think we might be ready for.
Well, again, it'll be a little something different for you as a group, as a director, or producer. And you'll feel it out. I think you've established such a great theater company that to me it wouldn't matter what you're doing. I'm like, what? I'm going to go see it. I come to see everything I can. And now there have been some shows that I've liked. Performances are always good, but sometimes the subject matter, okay, I can get through this. But many times, more than not, I walk away just going, what did I just see? Because
Thank you.
You're very bold to do it and daring. So you performed in musicals?
Oh my gosh, I was at I've done.
Come on, tell me.
I played Baby John in West Side Story twice. I was a Brigadoon. I was a sword dancer. I understudied for Chorus Line back east. I've done, oh my God, everything. Pajama Game. Oh my God! Yeah, I can't even because I
So
did summer stock. I did some. I was so I was a theater. I was a theater major, and I had my graduate work in performance. But in my younger years, I danced. I was actually a singer and a dancer, and a musician. I played clarinet and oboe for many years. I was in orchestra. So I was very musically inclined in my younger years, starting when I was 6. I had a clarinet when I was 6. And then when I got into high school, my best friend took an acting class. I'm like, oh, I want to do that with him. And, and then I got the theater bug. But I'd always been involved with music. And then I started studying dance later as a younger man. And then I started dancing in shows. I was a chorus boy, and that evolved. And so, yeah, I love performing. I love performing in musicals.
did you? It sounds like you were a chorus boy. So you were like a gypsy doing all the chorus work and
Oh
singing.
yeah, yeah. I never was the lead. I wasn't Tony in West Side Story, but I got to lead. I mean, Baby John is an
Oh,
awesome.
that's a big part. That's a big part.
It's a great role. It's a great role. You know, when I played Tommy DeGiles, I did do music band, so I played Tommy.
Oh, honey, that's a big part.
Yeah, I
I mean,
played Tommy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in summer stock, it's awesome. You know, you're 22 years old and you're dancing across the stage and throwing Zenita, against the proscenium. I did. I actually dropped our Zenita one night, and we have this huge duet pas de deux, and we're dancing and we're running diagonally down stage right, and she was tiny and I'm not a large guy, and she was like 5'1" and she's like 85 pounds, and so we do this lift, and I'm like, I got my, and we're running, and the weight is there, and I lifted her. Well, she had gone a little too far ahead of me, and mind you, this is an outdoor stage. There's a wall that kind of framed the outdoor stage. It was in southern Georgia, summer stock, and there was a big lake behind the stage, and there were alligators in the lake. So during the daytime, the alligators would come out on stage and sun themselves, and the stagehands would have to shoo them off into the lake. So anyway, so we're in this number. I can't even remember the number, but there's a big dance thing that Zenita and Tommy have. And we're coming down at an angle, downstage right, and I go to lift her, and I've lost all my momentum is going forward. And I start to pick her, and I'm like, oh, and I pick her, and her weight is carrying me further down, and I literally threw her into the wall. And I mean, it turned into like a Bugs Bunny. So she was like, she slid down the wall, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
So dancers, it when you have all the tricks you have to do, or the lifts, and I hated the idea of having to pick a girl up and throw her up on my shoulder. I did it. I was this big when I used to do it, but chorus was the place I said I would do chorus anywhere, because you got to do the most in the show sometimes. Sometimes if you get yeah. So I like doing the ensemble work. So yeah, so it sounds like you had that great experience. And then, so you did this all in the South?
Yes.
So
yeah.
When did you move to the West?
So I graduated with my BFA from Florida State out of their theater department in acting. And it's a 4-year program. So they groom you for the entire 4 years. It was an amazing program at Florida State through their theater school. And then I went on to South Florida, and I took a break in between college. There was a scout had seen me actually in West Side Story in summer stock, and had hired me, had said, do you want to come to Atlanta? And I'm like, to do what? He goes, well, we're mounting a new show. I'm looking for dancers. Would you work with us? And I'm like, absolutely. So I called my mom and dad. I'm like, hey, so what do you think about me leaving college right now? I've got a job offer in Atlanta. And they're like, are you out of your mind? So I left school after my sophomore year for 2 years, and I danced and performed in Atlanta. And that's really where, I came out. And it was the first big city, because I hadn't moved to Miami yet. It was the first big city I really, really kind of spent my life in. And I loved Atlanta, and it was booming and going crazy in the early 80s. And so there for 2 years, then I had to go back to school. I finished my degree in a year and a half, And then I got accepted at Burt Reynolds, which was the Institute of Theater Training in Southern Florida. And that's how I got my equity card. So I did, that program is 13 months. And we did like 21 shows in 13 months. I mean, you are working constantly. But it's the same 13 people. So I auditioned, it's a national audition. And I got into the company in the class of 85. And there's 12 actors and a stage manager. And they groom you and they carry you through, and you work with all these professionals. I work with Leonard Fry and Bert, and obviously worked with Bert, and then Charles Nelson Riley and Bill Luce. And I mean, you just work with these professionals because it was a dinner theater. So all of these shows are going on that if you're not working in the show, you're working on the show, either as a dresser or as a production assistant. Sometimes you're understudying. I understudied in Chorus Line, and Catherine Bach was doing something. I can't remember, some horrible drama. Anyway, so you go, and it's an incredibly intense 13 months. But at the end of it, you get cast in your first equity show as a candidate, and my show was Man of La Mancha. I was a muleteer, and I got my equity card and graduated and moved to, and then I got a job, my first equity job in Miami immediately following that. And then I stayed in Miami for a couple of years, working in television and theater and doing some stuff down there. Did a couple of films, tiny little role. I got my SAG card in Miami. And that took me through to 87, late 87. And my boyfriend at the time was moving out west, and I thought, oh, I'll go with him. I called my mom and dad, and I hadn't really come out to mom and dad really at that point. But I said, I'm moving to California. And they're like, what? So I literally packed my Dodge Dart. I had a 1970-something Dodge Dart that I packed full of my shit. And I drove across country and landed in Hollywood on actually July 3rd.
So you went from the South, and you started going a little bit over, and then did you ever have the Broadway bug? Did you go in?
Oh, I totally wanted to go to New York.
Did you ever go and try?
No.
No,
I wanted to, and the thing is that my decision to move to California, a lot of it was based on my conversations with friends of mine from college. All of us, obviously we were very, very close in the School of Theater. Some people were going to Chicago. Half of us were going to New York. The other half were going to Los Angeles. So that those who had already gone after our BFA program, a lot of people just took off out of Tallahassee, out of Florida State. And I went on to Burt Reynolds and stayed back for 2.5 years. They were like, oh my God, New York's so hard, and it's so expensive, and it's so cold. And I would hear these horror stories, and it was hard. It was a very different lifestyle. And
yeah.
I think I thought, you know what, maybe I'll transition. Maybe I'll go to LA, because the climate was similar to kind of Florida. And I had friends in Miami who were working in LA. So I had connections coming out, and I thought, well, this might be an easier transition. So I picked LA, and there's a part of me that wishes I had gone to New York, but the fact is that I've been incredibly fortunate to continue working in theater, out here. And you never know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I may end up doing something off Broadway. You don't know. I have a theater company. I take something to New York, and
I think when you do stuff here, I mean, that's off Broadway. I mean, it's a ways off Broadway, but you guys do such great quality work, and you are a master of your craft, and I've enjoyed watching the stuff that you have produced for Palm Springs. It really has made something. My love is theater and music, and you've really filled that wonderful need that I have, and I'm hoping that we all get to enjoy this again soon sometime. What's the plans for Dezart's right now? Uh, what's the face of Dezart's looking like now, and then where do you think you're going to go with it?
So we had a board meeting last night.
Oh,
So I had to take, I made a third or fourth presentation of what we're going to do because it seems to change every day. So right now, our hope is to produce something entirely online in November. And then the musical I want to produce in January, late January. Again, I don't anticipate that we will be able to go inside. So the thought is kind of a hybrid where we'll bring something outdoors to an outdoor venue, and then also record it so we can make it available as a stream, because we're looking at streaming services right now. We're looking at engineers who will help us do this. We'd like to do a 3-camera shoot of each of our shows, record it, edit it, and then produce it online, but then also make it available as a live performance in an outdoor venue.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, because we've pared down, we have decided we can't do 4 shows this season. It's not possible. So our third show, which is a drama by Paul Coates called The End of It, is originally a 6-person play. I'm trying to decide whether we're going to do it with 2, because it can be done with 2 actors. I'd love to do it with 6 because it's brilliantly staged with 6. It's one storyline, and it's the story of 3 couples. It was originally written as a 1-couple play, and he worked it, and it's now 3 couples, and they literally come in and out saying the same words as their. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's called The End of It.
Well,
but I look at the budget, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do 6 actors. So
wow.
that I'm hoping we'll be able to do live in person April, and it just depends on, crossing fingers, where we are.
It's great that it's caused everyone to look at theater differently right now. Like, this is what it is. I mean, all those actors in New York and everywhere, all these actors everywhere and performers, it's everything for them has come crashing down, and it's hard for groups to survive in general. And how are you guys doing? Are you guys looking for? Have you asked for donations? You got your stuff going out there? If someone watching this would like to donate specifically to Dezart's performance, what would they be able to do for you?
You can go to dezartperforms.org. We have a donate button on that page. We also have our phone number is 760-322-0179, extension 4. You can call me directly, or I can put you in touch with our director of development. You can also send us a check. Our address is on the website at Dezart. It's DEZART performs.org. You can mail us a check. The CARES Act, we tapped into all of that as soon as we could. So we were able to get payroll. I haven't had to lay off. We have 2 full-time staff members. Fortunately, we haven't had to lay anybody off. So the PPP program, the payroll protection, that has helped us a lot. We got a small grant from the CARES Act. We got a low interest rate loan in case we needed that money. And then we did a big, huge donation campaign on June 2nd that we launched. And our donors have come forward and really, really supported us. And I would encourage not only to continue to support us, but support all of the arts in this. Wherever you come from, send a check.
Yeah.
If it's local, if it's New York, if it's your hometown in Seattle, support the arts, because everybody's really, really struggling right now. We can't produce anything.
And people can't, you can't give us what we're going to want and what you need to do.
Everybody still has bills. I mean, I have rent.
Yeah.
We still have the AC needs to still stay on in the office. I mean, and that's everybody. Desert Rose, Coyote, all of our local theaters, Desert Ensemble, Indio Stageworks Theater. I'm going to name them all because we all talk and we're all, how are you doing? We all meet weekly to just check in on everybody, see we rep.
It's a tight circle and really good people. I'm so impressed always, and with the community that's involved too. And you guys do such great stuff with students as well. I think that's very commendable. You have your,
I miss the kids so much right now.
you work with MTU as well. Am I right?
I don't work with MTU. I mentor at Cathedral City High School, and I also have the internship program that we have with Palm Springs High School Drama Department.
I think it's just so great that several of the groups do stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, gosh, as a kid, I would have loved that. I didn't enter theater till I was an adult, really. So, but how great that would have been as an opportunity.
Well, we want to keep them here. I mean, we all, when I was 18, I couldn't wait to get out. I couldn't wait to leave my hometown, and I get that. But there's so much talent in the school systems. I mean, Palm Springs Unified, Coachella, there's so much talent. And that we grab these kids and they just soak everything up. We actually, 2 graduates from Palm Springs High School now work on staff with us. You know what I mean? They're assistant stage managing. They're working and they're getting paid. And these were kids that we've, hopefully helped them along the way and encouraged them. And now they're here and they're dying for us to get back.
I'm sure. Anyone who is like majoring in theater and all that kind of stuff, all this kind of. So I think it's great that, and you will find, and I know you will find ways to utilize their skills and to keep them busy too, because that's going to be really important.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Michael, thank you so much for taking some time today with me. You are a doll. And
thank you.
We'll do it again some other time when we can actually have a cocktail.
Well, I don't know what you're doing in 3 hours, but.
I definitely will be calling you back on that one. But thank you so much. And again, I like doing this to let people know about who my friends are, what they do here in Palm Springs, and to just get the word out about all the good stuff that people are doing. I want to stay so positive during these times. And it's been great being able to reach out and actually see you. And your hair is just, I am loving it. So maybe the next time we get together, we will do a live streaming of Dear Evan Hansen from your bathroom, and you can be doing it. And I'll just ask for donations.
Or Frozen 2. Or Frozen 2. Into the unknown. Hello. I'll do anything.
I'll pay. So, but thanks again, Michael. And thank you all for listening if you are. And if you aren't, well, I'll get you to somehow. So thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon, Michael.